The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello everyone, welcome to Leadership Podcast. And of course, it's another edition of The Big Issue. And as usual, I'm your regular host, George Agba is my name. And right here with me in the studio are our in-house analysts, Silas Ezegu and Ejike, a security analyst. And of course, the big issue of the day is tackling kidnapping on the federal highways. The spate of abductions on federal highways in the country by terrorists, bandits, and other criminal elements is growing by the day. And the incidents have assumed a dangerous dimension due to the failure of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FERMA, to stick to its primary mandate of rehabilitating dilapidated roads infrastructure, according to the directives of the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari. Last week, Nigerian troops were said to have closed the only relatively safe highway that leads into Biu local government area of Borno State from Tamatu, the Yobe state capital, following a series of attacks and kidnappings on the route by Boko Haram insurgents. The terrorists struck last week when some special security operatives deployed at Bunugari had gone out on a clear-out patrol in the axis. And since last week's abductions, soldiers and policemen have battled to prevent Boko Haram terrorists from attacking the Bunigari-Buniyadi area axis of Gujba, the 135-kilometer long road, which is the only safe route linking Meduguri and Damaturi, had been closed for some days, and residents had been groaning that the whole thing had crippled business activities in that part of the country. Well, HK, this idea of kidnappings on the highways has become worrisome. You see, to be very candid, we can all agree that the military as it is has been overstretched. We're battling to contain terrorists in the northeast, and bandits in the northwest and part of the north central, and the police, which role is to ensure internal security. There's nowhere to be found in all this. What is really actually happening to the police force?
Thank you for having me. I think we need to understand the issues as the police role is to maintain internal security, as you said. But when you have an issue of terrorism, it goes beyond the role of police. The military is supposed to watch against external forces, but when you have terrorism within the country, the military comes in. Now, our Nigerian police have the manpower, but they are not properly equipped to fight terrorism. That is why you see military everywhere. So I will agree with you to a point that the military have been overstretched, and I think if properly aligned and used, the overstretch has not really happened. Look at them doing in the southeast. You have serious issues in the north central.
Terrorists there now. I thought the guy the terrorist organization.
We have real situations of terrorism, and we have politically motivated terrorism. IPOB situation cannot be compared to what we have in even Kaduna here, where you cannot travel again except you're on the train. If you don't have, no matter the escort you have, you cannot drive safely, except you're lucky. With your army and your police and everything, these guys will still come out and shoot openly without any form of reprisal attack. So I'm not saying they shouldn't be in the southeast, but I'm saying that emphasis should be placed on where we have serious problems. You're talking about Meduguri, you're talking about a whole stretch of road being blocked.
Connected two states.
Which means that these guys are operating freely there. And nobody is doing anything. Is it the police that's going to stop them? What are the military doing?
They are not doing anything.
They are not doing enough. It's obvious that they are not doing enough.
Yes, they're not doing anything, you know.
Well,
They are losing their lives.
you've heard
Yes,
what
yes.
Majiki has said.
It's very
Silas.
frustrating.
You see, the idea here is that the military came out because of the Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorist uh, group in the northeast, and recently, just like you say, they went to southeast, and you say they are there because there are terrorists there too. You say IPOB. AGK is talking of
Government said that
politically motivated terrorists.
Yeah.
Oh, we wouldn't even know.
That's the definition of it.
But for the fact that the military is out actually trying to contain terror attack, is it enough to say that the police will not address issues of kidnapping on the highway, Silas?
Yes. You know, I think that is the job of those handle. Okay, I know that you know if you look at the kidnapping that's going on, I see it in different parts. There's a part being orchestrated by bandit terrorists. People call it the banditry terrorists, where they kidnap students en masse and demand millions or keep them for weeks, in fact some years now. Started with Chibok girls. 276 girls kidnapped on I think April 14 or so, 2014. In fact, that thing helped to fasten Jonathan's exit from power. Okay? Then the next big one was in Dachi, where they kidnapped 105 or so. Already a sheriff was still in detention in their captivity. Then there have been those ones who go to communities, take hundreds of people, carry 20, 50. Those ones are banditry terrorists. I mean, kidnappers, terrorist kidnappers. And they do it to raise money for their weapons and for their operational things. You know. Then also other places where people just kidnap people once and twos for somebody says business. What was it the governor also that said that this is just business they're doing? I don't know if it's fine or something. But these are ones that are the now ones those that target people. Some of them are those who pretend to be herdsmen. They run out from the bush. And they say they're Fulani. So many people who have been caught, you know, they cut across. The people just who pretend to be Fulani or herdsmen just come out from the bush and catch anybody they see. I had a friend in Enugu, a doctor who was going to work early in the morning and they just came out from the bush and picked him up. Then also other people who are picking up here. In fact, in the last 2-3 weeks, I've seen people who told me they were kidnapped, that they suffer kidnapping. That the thing I think is so widespread now. On Sunday, a woman gave a testimony in the church where we were. She was coming back on January 2nd from the village. And when we are between here and the east, they come from the bush and clean the family for 3 days. The husband and the soldier, they paid before they left them. Then I said on program one time ago that my cobra that appeared with the money I gave him to do some work for me. And when I saw him again, he said he had kidnapped his wife and his sister. I couldn't ignore the ransom they killed the two of them. It was so stricken when I saw him. My God, I froze when I heard the story. So there are other people around you that I know that they kidnapped. So those ones are you know, there are so that kinds of kidnapping, the terrorists, mandatory terrorist kidnapping, and the individual ones that people strike and push and come out. Now, I believe that those are certain the police can do something about the kidnapping if they put their mind to it. They have succeeded in some places and even busted them. Police have a tracking device that can track where calls are made from. At the time I lost my phone and I needed to go to track the phone. And I went to do it. Look at the only thing I didn't proceed was that the money they were asking me was more than the phone.
The tracking device is not working correctly.
You cannot have just you see that's what I'm saying that there's not the will to do it. Not that they don't have people to can do it. If there's a will, why would who have only tracking device? We have this tracking device in every state. There's a special anti-kidnapping unit.
It shouldn't be a problem. It's not a big
See, okay, if what are they telling us about? They can even go if they have all the state governments that are buying vehicles. Why spend money buying vehicles when you can buy equipment that can help to contain this kind of crime that becomes a problem in Nigeria. Kidnapping has become a multi-billion criminal enterprise in Nigeria. So if they have, so I want to say that they can do that if they want to do that.
Thank you very much, Silas.
They can track down kidnappers. They need to them if they have the will to do that. And you know, you spend your money where you have interest.
Well, let's just quickly take a short break. We'll be back in a moment. And before we do that, we'll be expecting the contributions from our viewers through by their way of comment. And it's expected that by the time we come back, your comments will begin to trickle in to help shape the conversation on the big issue. Don't go offline. We'll be back in a moment.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Welcome back. We are still on the Big Issue in Leadership podcast. And of course, the big issue of the day is tackling kidnapping on federal highways. Politically, we're talking of the tracking device. The anti-kidnapping tracking device is no more working. In one of the areas the Nigerian police has consistently faced challenges, it's in the area of inadequate personnel. We know of that because currently in Nigeria, Silas, you have about 371,800 police officers to police the entire country, made up of over 200 million Nigerians. And apart from the fact that the figure is grossly inadequate, for several decades past, the Nigerian police is still underfunded, and this has led to poor accoutrement, training, and logistics. You see, you mean that all this while these issues, AGK has not been addressed? Because when you talk of even the tracking device not working, it's still all this poor funding and poor logistics.
Yeah, you see, I think these problems, we have to understand something. In every country, they have their peculiar problems. Nigeria, we agree, we have poor funding, we have payment, no encouragement, no this. But what about the ones we have at hand? There are monies, there are equipment we are buying every day for them. What is happening to this equipment? You read recently when I say about 800 thousand pump action guns are missing from the armory. You saw when they say about over 100 and something thousand arms and ammunition were missing, not recorded. What is happening to these things? The ones we have, how are you using it? You're telling me that Nigerian police cannot effectively handle kidnapping. Let's forget about the terrorism part now. The bigger ones who go and pack from schools, those ones are better terrorism. What about these ones that are picking people on the streets?
On the highways.
Even in the house.
The roads are no longer safe.
In Cuba.
Despite that is sorry to cut you short, that is despite the fact that if you are traveling on the highways, at every single kilometer, you will see a police checkpoint.
No,
you will see an army checkpoint.
That's common in the south.
That's in the south.
That's in the south.
Where
in the south.
security issues
in the
are
north,
less.
you can travel for 2 hours. You will not see any policeman on the road.
You see the irony?
And these people,
where you have more insecurity, you don't have policemen there. Then when you don't have much, you have them. In fact, they are 100 meters apart.
Collecting money.
In
fact, the embarrassment is
you admitted here not quite long that they are terrorists in the south.
The government says IPOB is a terrorist organization.
Yes.
And they did this thing even when IPOB did not have ESL.
Yes.
Remember, it was just when they were carrying placards in Abuja saying want Biafra. That when they quickly prescribed them. And remember also, I've always said that I don't believe in ideology. I don't support the attack. I don't even support what they're calling for. But even when it's from the ESN, it was in response to the fact that herdsmen, when they bush kidnapping, raping, killing people in thousands in the east, all over the country, and the police and the army were not ready. In fact, at a point, our president was saying that our brothers should accommodate them. So when they got those kind of, want to tell our people, they took it upon themselves to provide a kind of militia to fight people, those who are in the bush kidnap people, and quickly, the government is sending on them. So, so that's why you find out that the whole security issue in Nigeria is a mystery. It's like they're playing politics with the whole thing. There's no sincerity in the way they're approaching it.
Everybody, any person in power, any person in charge of the position or anything, you're thinking of what do I do to favor one side, benefit one person. If you bring out your mind that you want to handle it wholeheartedly, you are going to do it. At a point, a strong man in Kaduna was saying that herdsmen, all those things were those people that you need to support. But today we know the situation in Kaduna, and all the big men they are changing their mind. They are now calling for help, which means the thing we were pampering these problems when it started, especially this kidnapping and bandits. We're pampering it, thinking that it's just a small people and somebody. Now you see, I keep saying it. I travel a lot to the north. You'll be moving with the military convoy. You will see them in the bush, very close to the road. They will sit in their own convoy and be looking at you. If you dare shoot them or enter the demonstration and shoot all of you.
Well, GK.
So that means that if we need to tackle such people who have become outlaws, who kill and behead and destroy and slaughter at will, this one I don't call them human beings again. And thank God that the government has considered them as terrorists. Let's fight them as terrorists. Let's fight them as terrorists. And two, we need to invest in technology. One military said that you don't need to put soldiers in harm's way to shoot you. No, use solar technology, use drones, drop the bombs on them. How is Israel fighting Hamas? They just sit down there place and press a button, and you see a top Hamas commander driving. Once they tell you that this is the top Hamas commander driving, they will just target him. If they don't want to kill him along with the family, they will just allow the family to leave the car. If he drives out, you see a dog will drop a bomb on him alone and kill him. That's how Israel has been fighting Hamas and other terrorist organizations as well in the Middle East. Why can't we? So 12 years we'll be fighting this ding-dong pattern. We should not be fighting them as a we should fight them as a government.
Thank you very much, Silas. But the Buhari government, I think, has been drumming this and has been saying it. Effort being made to equip the security agencies, especially the Nigerian Police Force. And recently, the Nigeria Police Trust Fund donated operational vehicles, security and medical equipment worth 11 billion HK, 11 to the Nigerian Police Force. The equipment procured, let me list them for you to see, for the MPF, included 200 Buffalo vehicles, 190 ballistic helmets, 640 pieces of bulletproof vests procured by the fund under the 2020 intervention. And you understand? So with all this, can the police still be saying that in terms of logistics?
Did they go to the police and find out what the police said they wanted before the police? Because everywhere you see this kind of thing, there's a procurement fraud and where people want to get money out of. These things are a bonus. I think what the police need at least, I know the police will need vests, bulletproof vests, they will need vehicles. But the current problem that confronting Nigeria, just of kidnapping, is that what they need? How many of them are tracking devices track down where they can?
I think enough fairness to them, though the figure is not 11 billion, that figure needs to be reviewed. That 11 billion is for a total budget they wanted to do. This procurement is part of the 11 billion.
11 billion.
Yes, so this procurement, 200 buffaloes and other things, these are good ones. Buffalo, that's each of the vehicles are equipped with cameras and all these things.
Okay.
Then the vest is normal, then the helmet. But that is not our problem. Just like I mentioned, the issue of missing ones. We have, it's not about buying, but we have to keep records of this thing. The ones
You
that
buy
bought
and
last
sell them.
year, where are they? These ones, in the next 6 months to 1 year, are you sure we can account for them? If Boko Haram takes over one or bombs one, we should have proper records so that we will ensure that these things don't enter the wrong hands and be used against us. That's the situation in the Northeast. At the point you see these people, they will come and attack the military and collect some of this heavy equipment and use it against them.
Use them against.
In fact, I remember one soldier who reported anonymously that they were going for operation and they only put 10 liters of fuel or a small quantity of fuel in their armor tank. And before the vessel went far, they run out of food for and then they had to exit the armor tank and run for their lives. And the Boko Haram just came and fueled it as if they knew that this vehicle had been fueled. And when they came and fueled it and carried it away. Okay. So you can see that there are people who don't want this fight to end because they are reaping
benefiting from it because
the
budgetary allocation to the for security every year is alarming. But at the end of the day, we don't see the money tangibly
all
to buy.
over the world. Whenever there is a crisis, whenever there is war, whenever there is this terrorism, people enjoy. Most people who benefit from it enjoy, and they keep fueling it. That is why you come to see if you go to Chad, Niger, you have French military ready to strike. They are there. They are seeing Boko Haram coming and going through Nigeria. They are not reacting.
It's not their fight.
It's not their fight. If you all over the countries within Nigeria, you have these people. Why are they not reacting?
And why are they not helping with intelligence? That's how we just saw Boko Haram.
But you had this lateral transport,
which collapsed at a point because the Chadians felt that Nigeria was not doing enough.
Yeah,
they will be coming from their own. Nigeria will not do.
We will not come reciprocate.
Yes. So at the point,
you find out that
even now, I'm sure it's still there now, but it's not as effective
as it used to be again.
And these are the problem. We have people who are benefiting and they are sabotaging the thing within and outside the country.
Well, that for security, and of course, it's another area where kidnappings on the highway have become too high. Is that the president and the security chiefs are having sleepless nights and thinking what to do on a daily basis, making efforts to tackle insecurity. Well, you see, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FERMA, they are not helping. You see, kidnapping has been on the rise on the highway because, yes, these bad roads. You understand? FERMA, they are not helping because, number one, the other way of curtailing insecurity is to fix this road. Do you know that these kidnappers, bandits, and the rest, how they attack is that they go position themselves in areas where the roads are bad, and there's no doubt that vehicles will come and then slow down there. That is their point of attack. And
that must be for small kidnappers, and especially in the south, where we have bad roads. In the north, the roads in the north are just as zero in Abuja. That's why Mr. Salah said, there are levels to kidnapping. There are people who have become terrorist kidnappers and people who just pick. These ones will help the people who just come to pick people and go. 1, 2. These ones who will come into a community and sack the army, sack the police, go to a school, park 100. The road will not affect them. Though I believe that if you focus on repairing the road, especially in the south, it will help to minimize the impact
of kidnapping and the rest
within this.
Thank you very much. That's what is true, because at the end of the day, if FEMA was actually living up to its billing, right, maintaining some of these routes,
you have to find out because of whether FEMA is being funded the way they should be funded. If you go and touch the ground, they will tell you how much they need to do their work and how much they give to them. So that's also another. You need to find out from them why they are not able to do these things. And then there's one aspect to left as well about the police and the numbers. The police in Nigeria is not too small. The only thing that is the
I mean,
application.
370
Yeah, if you calculate it,
thousand policemen.
if you can't, somebody made an argument.
How many policemen to how many
It's like
Nigerians?
1 to
How
50
in terms of
7.
policing?
It should be like 1 to 4 persons.
1 to 4 persons. That is a
No.
normal. That's the universal
1 to 4.
standard.
Yes,
Yes.
1 to 4 persons.
In the whole
world.
No,
Well,
I
guys,
do
we're
it-
talking
I think
about
I
global
do-
standard.
I think I do it
Yeah.
1 to 4 to so. That's 1 to 4.
So now,
No,
how
it
can
can't
300
be 1 to
something be?
40.
How can that work in Nigeria?
It can't be 1 to 40. 1 to 40. What can you do to 40
That's
persons?
that everybody is a criminal. You know, let me okay, we can take fact check. But somebody mentioned a point that the percentage of see the percent.
Me and I am sure. What did you say? 1 to 4. That is what I know as the standard.
The ratio of the Nigerian police population compared to the ones in Ghana and this French West Africa, their own is even much smaller. Yet they are what guarding the place. You can't move from here to here without the gendarmes and the police, stopping you because they are alive to their duties. But in Nigeria, almost half of them are guarding big men. You understand? So if you have 307,000,
over 100,000,
over 150 or so are guarding big men. You see, just private cities, because they have money, they have 5 personnel attached to them because they can pay. Now, those who have taken,
So instead of one
money,
man to 4 citizens, 1 policeman to 4 citizens, now it is 5 policemen to 1.
and because they can pay. And now somebody mentioned that this money, they pay money to the office, and nobody ever tells us how much that money comes to a year. And it's 2 billion, and somebody is sitting on that money.
Yeah,
Forget about it.
The channel keeps going up.
Well, that is the much we can take for today's edition of the big issue. And of course, it still boils down to the political will to end kidnapping and other forms of criminality in the country. And it all behoves the government, the security agencies to do the right thing. Monies appropriated for security should be used instead of being siphoned by a few individuals at the top. These and many others. Well, as time goes on, we will see how the Buhari administration would have ended up tackling insecurity, which is one of the primes among the 3 of its mantra: security, corruption, and what? Economy. Thank you for keeping tab with us. And of course, I'd like to thank our in-house analysts for doing a very good job of addressing the big issue. Join us same time tomorrow for another issue, another edition of the big issue. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.